How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt, also known as Too Slick, and today we are at Nowaskey Extreme Performance, and I'm going to go around and give you guys some of the details on my 2005 Dyna Superglide. We'll start on the rear end. This fender I built myself. It's got basically a 1 o'clock scrape plate on the back. I like my fenders chopped pretty deep. It just makes it to where hand drags and all that stuff are a lot easier because you don't have to worry about the fender hitting the ground before your hand does. So the fender on the inside is braced all the way up to the seat area, like by the shocks, and it's braced really strong. So strong that you have to be pretty easy when you hit it on the ground, or it'll actually just bend the back end of the bike up. So I also have this step plate that my friend Tallboy T built. This step plate kind of makes it really fun when you're in tight areas. You put one foot on here and the other foot on the brake. It's also really fun in traffic and things like that. You can get a lot of control doing wheelies when you're standing on the step plate. I've got an 18-inch rear wheel. I like the 18-inch rear wheel a lot. It kind of makes the back end of the bike sit up more level with the front. I also stretch a 180 tire on a 3.5-inch wide wheel. That's way too wide for normal use, but when you're drifting, I really like how wide the contact patch is, and it feels like you can really lean the bike over before it seems like it wants to slide out. EBC rotors, front and back. A huge thank you to EBC. They've been a huge help, and I really love these rotors. This is actually the same set of rotors that I've had for the last 2 years, which is pretty surprising because normally the pins wear out, and these ones have not ever. So moving on to the shocks, these are Nowaskey dual adjustable 14-inch shocks. When I started talking to Pete Nowaskey, my favorite thing that he had mentioned about these shocks was the adjustment, and that we could change different springs out and really get me dialed in. I'm 6'3", and I kind of go anywhere from 200 pounds to 220 pounds, and I always felt like it was really hard to find a shock that wasn't either super stiff or really soft and too bouncy. And so being able to change different spring rates out, and then once the spring felt good, then adjust the dampening and stuff was really an awesome feature to me, and I've felt super comfortable on these shocks. And it's also been really fun to try different adjustments out, because I think a lot of times we just put suspension on our bikes and kind of just get used to what it does, and that shouldn't really be the case. We should be able to try different things out, and I've really enjoyed learning more about suspension with that adjustment. The exhaust is Stealth pipes. Steve from Stealth has been sending me exhaust for, gosh, I think the last 5 years, and this one definitely is pretty beat up. It's been on this bike for, I think, 2 years, and it's definitely seen some abuse. The motor in this bike it started as an 88-inch motor, and we basically tore it all apart. We put a welded intrude crank in the bottom end. We upgraded it to a 95-inch. It has Screaming Eagle ported and polished heads, and I think Screaming Eagle 204 cams. When I built this motor, I wasn't really worried about power as much as I was reliability. I really wanted something that I could just beat up for a long time and not have it wear out, and it really has done that. I think this motor has been built for almost 3 years now, which is pretty surprising, and it seems to be just as good as the day that we built it. So for tuner, I have a Thundermax ECM for that awesome rev limiter that everybody loves. Going over to the primary, I have pretty much a stock primary. The only thing that I run is EBC clutch plates, and everything else besides that is all stock basket. Transmission, 77 cycles, 5-speed transmission. What else? We have a Nowaskey derby cover and original garage foot pegs, original garage shifter, and original garage crash bar, keeping this thing from getting too banged up. Going over the front end, which is honestly my favorite part about the whole entire bike. This bike originally started life as a 39mm bike, and we swapped it over to a 49mm bike. And I did that mainly because I really didn't like how flimsy the front end felt on a 39mm. I felt like when I was drifting, you could almost feel the fork tubes moving around. And also, I didn't really feel like there was a ton of good options for aftermarket front suspension, and it just wasn't really too adjustable. And honestly, starting off with a 49mm, I think you're starting that much better already. And then we also threw in some Nowaskey 49mm cartridges. Kind of been the main person testing out the Dyna cartridges and making some changes here and there, and hopefully those are available on the website soon. I definitely have really enjoyed them, and it makes just normal riding that much better on this bike. Let's see, we have EBC front rotor and an Arlen S brake caliper. It's a 6-piston. I don't run the dual disc like a lot of people run. Personally, I think the bike looks a lot better single disc. It may not perform as good, but I don't know, something about the single disc kind of just makes it look more stylish to me. We have original garage gold fork tubes in a stock height, and also a 21-inch front wheel with this wide Shinko tire. Definitely the wide front tire is a game changer for drifting and just kind of adds a lot more control. Coming up to the handlebars, this is another part of my favorite thing, and I get asked about all the time, is how do I run dirt bike bars on my Harley? First off, I'll say that 7/8 handlebars are a game changer. Personally, being able to grip the handlebars a lot tighter because it's not so wide makes everything feel so much better, and I will never run 1-inch handlebars ever again. So we have original garage 6-inch risers, and that gives you the option to have 1 1/8" clamping. That's how you're able to clamp on the dirt bike bars. And then from there, kind of everything else is custom. So I have a 1-finger easy pull clutch lever, and I just made my own shim so that I could use a 1-inch clutch lever. And then as far as the throttle cable, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. This is actually just a Amazon special for a pit bike, and why I decided to try this out is that you could actually take all the cable ends, take the cable, and adjust everything really easily, and I would say that's probably the best way to do that. That way you can dial in your cable length for either an 8-inch or 6-inch riser. Moving on to the front brake master cylinder, this is a Nesson off of a wrecked sport bike, and it has an ASV foldable clutch lever, which I like a lot, and it's also very adjustable. That's probably the one thing that I do need to change on this bike, actually, is I would like to switch it out to a Brembo brake master cylinder, just for a little bit more strength, I guess. The paint job on this bike was done by Brian at Killer Bee Paint in Denver, Colorado. Brian was super gracious and wanted to paint a bike for me, and I think that's probably what's most recognizable about this bike, is definitely the paint job, and it's kind of become I don't know, I guess part of my theme. So one thing that I wanted to talk about with this whole bike is I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the reasons that I started working with Nowaskey in the first place. I had seen Pete set up at a show in Arizona, and I reached out to him after the event, and I just really wanted to learn more about his suspension products, because I, at the time, was having a really hard time with suspension. I was not really able to find anything on the market that was like working for me and my weight and my size. And so I basically called Pete and just had some questions for him. And right away I was really reassured because Pete wanted to know, he was asking me a lot more questions than anyone else had ever asked me about suspension. You know, he wanted to know my weight. He wanted to know kind of what spring weights I had ridden on in the past. He wanted to know like what I was looking for out of the suspension that I wasn't feeling, where, to be honest, most other people were just telling me like, you know, that's kind of just, I was getting what it is. It is what it is, you know, and Pete was asking me a whole lot of questions, and he truly wanted to be able to help me because he knew that if he could help me, he could help other big riders or riders that were looking for something similar like I was looking for. And I was really drawn to that. And to me, it just spoke immensely that he really wants to work on his products. He wants to know as much about his products as possible. He wants to be having people test his products. And I think that's a really, really big thing. And for me, I was really excited because I got to work with someone who had experience with race bikes and all kinds of race bikes, drag bikes, salt flats bikes, king of the baggers, and also stunt bikes. And to me, that's a really good opportunity for me to get to learn and also feel safe on my own bike, because I know that someone is really looking out for it. And honestly, if you can look after a King of the Baggers race bike, then a stunt bike is no big task at all. So that's how I started working with Nowaskey, and I've loved every bit of it. And I think it's going to be a long-term relationship for me, and I'm excited about it. So that kind of goes over most of the stuff that we've done to this bike on the second version of it. And then right before Daytona last year, we had the bike here at the Nowaskey shop, and we were kind of just going through the whole thing and getting it ready for Daytona. And Pete Nowaskey said, "Man, you're really only a couple bolts away from pulling the whole motor and transmission out of the frame. We should do it and get it powder coated." And I always really wanted a powder coated frame. And then when Pete kind of talked about how that was his, you know, that's really one thing that makes a bike custom, is you got to take it all the way down to the frame. And by powder coating the frame, that's how people know that you had it all the way down to the bare bones. And so that was a really cool thing. And Pete just was like, "Nope, we're going to take it all apart and we're going to powder coat it. And we've got 2 weeks to do it," or something crazy before Daytona. So we took it all the way down to the frame, had it powder coated to match the blue. And I think it really set everything off. That's when we put all the blue original garage parts on there as well. And I don't know, it just kind of really pulled the whole bike together really well. And I definitely love it. And, you know, it's something I want to talk about with this bike is just, I've taken this bike so many places, and it's taken me so many places too. I met my girlfriend because of this bike. I met a lot of my best friends because of this bike, and honestly, now I have my job because of this bike. So this bike's super important to me, and it's definitely a blast. I don't really know how to really explain it, but it's just a lot different than how I feel like a lot of other people set up stunt bikes. And my goal is to just kind of keep working on it and keep finding things to change. I think these bikes are still in their very beginning phases of like what we think works well for stunt riding, these Harleys. And I think over time we'll start finding other things to do to them and really ways to keep improving on them. I definitely want to give a huge thanks to Pete Nowaskey and Jake Bilo from Nowaskey Extreme Performance. These guys, I couldn't do all this work to a bike, and it wouldn't last nearly as long as it has if I was doing the work on it as well. So I want to give a huge thanks to those guys, and also Sam from Original Garage for a lot of the hard parts that you see. EBC brakes for always making sure I have good rotors and pads and clutch plates. Steve from Stealth Pipes, ODI Grips. We also, Steve from Indy Ridge USA, and Brandon from KYT Helmets. I really appreciate all you guys. And also Saddleman Seats, can't forget them. I just put a fresh Saddleman seat on actually, so yeah, that's my 2005 Dyna Superglide. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the Nowaskey YouTube channel. Later.